In this video what I'm going to do is just a very simple wash but mixing two colours together. So mix up some cobalt blue here. That's what it looks like pure. And my second colour, I've got a yellow, so I've got cadmium yellow. And that's what that's looking like pure. Now these I've tried to mix more or less the same tone. So what I'm going to do is taking the paint in my glass here, the cobalt blue. I'm actually going to add. I've got a syringe full of the cadmium yellow, and I'm going to add this into the blue as we go down, and let's just see what happens. Should be able to guess what happens. Let's have a look. Okay. So it's just a graded wash. Okay, so I've done about an inch there. Now add a first bit of yellow, and then we'll just keep the wash coming down. Again, this is all about being quite quick. More yellow, mix it, and apply it again. Just keep that line moving because we don't want to create a sort of sediment line. I'll say it a million times, the faster you can paint, the better. So now we can see that we're really getting a sort of change in that wash colour now. More yellow. And all the time as we're using up the paint in the glass here, the yellow we're adding is sort of accelerating the speed that it turns from blue to yellow, if that makes any sense. Because all the time there's less blue in the glass. We'd have to go a long way before we turned it into pure yellow. That's not going to happen. We're going to end up with a sort of light yellowy green. You know, in theory, if you kept adding yellow forever, you would end up with yellow. Okay, so just wash that down there. Last bit of yellow, in we go. Mix it up, and then I'll just complete that wash. Oops, there. The wash going the same direction, left to right. Just let the paint fall down. What we have here is the wash that's actually still wet. What I'm going to do is let's have a little mess around with some wet and wet painting. So I've got a darker blue here. I'm just going to create a horizon line. Let's just see what happens. Okay, just got a very blurred horizon there. Think of this as a landscape we're doing. I'm just going to wash that down to there. Okay, and then I'm going to let that dry. You can see how the paint's still moving down here. That's alright, I'm just going to stop it running there and then dry it up. So actually what I've done is I haven't dried it completely. It's still quite wet down here, drier on this side, but a lot drier than it was when I put that previous layer on. So I've mixed up a darker blue, a sort of purpley blue, and I'm just going to do another wet on wet line here. I'll dry that now. Okay, so that's completely dry now, that paper. I'm going to put one more wash on. This is basically using the same purple as I did on the last wash, just a little bit darker. And so this is dry on dry painting here now. I'll just pop a couple of trees in here. Just give it some focus. Keep that line moving. And I'll just join that together there. And that'll do. That's pretty much dried out now. Let's just have a look close up and see if we can spot a couple of things. So there's my original blue and yellow. We had the graded wash. And look how this line here looks so much brighter than it does up here. Now I said I mix those two colours the same tone, and they are. It just looks lighter because of the darker paint in front of it. They are actually the same tone. If you had that black and white dial, turned it down, they'd look the same. So we can see the first wet on wet horizon line. There's the second, which got dry over here, bit of dry brushwork there, and then the third coming on top. Alright, simple.